pledge allegiance with us?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You, let the record show all are present. Okay, we do a little deal for public comment policy. If there's anybody from the public that wants to make a comment to the board, they will need to go over to this table over here, read the script, sign up for it. And at the end of the meeting, we will reserve about 30 minutes for public comment. You will get 3 minutes to speak on your topic. And we'll go from there. Okay, everybody got the consent agenda?
Yes,
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next up, introduce new hires to the board. You got some new hires, Suzanne?
I will start. Kristen and Angie, so I'll let them tell you about yourselves or ask you, or let you take over, I guess. Hello, I'm Karina Slaughter. I am starting today. And I'm excited. I've lived in Council Bluffs my whole life, so yeah, happy to be here.
Down there in Susan's department.
Oh, yes, the parking, that's what I'm getting used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
What high school, Karina?
Thomas Jefferson.
All right.
And they're all, I should have said that too, they're all starting as disability service navigators, so.
Okay, good. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
I'm Kristen Schnicklaw. I actually started with the county back in, I don't know, 2010, I think. And then I was working with Suzanne as a case manager. And then when the MCOs took over case management, then I left, and I'm excited to be back.
Good. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I'm Angie Smith, and I previously was doing probation, and prior to that, I did county case management in Pennsylvania. And so I'm excited to be back and kind of connecting with new faces in my area. And I live in a tiny town outside of Lamar. It's called Brunsville, so it's 140 people. So definitely a challenge getting here and getting acquainted, but I'm excited.
Good. Welcome aboard. Susan's got a heck of a team down there. Does a lot of good work. We appreciate that. Thanks for coming in, ladies.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we got any more new hires? That was it.
Previously.
Thank you. Okay. Next up, Dan and Cam, CEO, Potawatomi Arts Council or Culture and Entertainment, which is PACE, discussion and or decision on funding requests. Hi, Dan.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah.
As you can see, I gave you my proposal, but really today I'm just here to advocate for PACE and talk about how we align with the Iowa Code 15A.1, which helps decide funding from the county. PACE and the Haas Center are not just about arts and programming, it's really about economic development as well. So we support employment, visitor spending, and quality of life, all drivers for workforce retention and growth. Go to the next slide for me. Go ahead and go to the next slide too. So when we were talking about jobs and income, arts means that we're creating and retaining local jobs. Not only does PACE support jobs. We also support creative contractors as well as support working artists because we treat the entire building as a gallery. So we directly support 75 jobs which are paid positions and income streams. That's local payroll, local spending, and retained talent, as well as art infrastructure. Art infrastructure often means workforce attraction and retention. So there's lots of studies out there that show that strong arts and culture infrastructure enhances the quality of life for your community, as well it helps retain families and skilled workers for your community. We also have received state recognition for economic development activities. So the IDA cites Council Bluffs as a place making success, and PACE is specifically mentioned as one of the reasons why it's so successful here in Council Bluffs. And then migration data also shows that Omaha Metro residents are moving into Council Bluffs rather than the opposite. So an investment in the arts is an investment in our workforce. Next slide, please. Arts and tourism. So we are a regional destination. So not only do we have over 40,000 people that actually participate in our programs, we have nearly 100,000 people that walk through the doors of the Hoff Center. And so that equates to about $2.3 million of economic impact right here in Council Bluffs and Pot County. And that really comes from people spending money. So when people go out to the arts, they go to restaurants and they go to shopping and they go to lodging and transportation. So 20%, 27% of our visitors do come from Nebraska. So we're bringing those dollars into our state. We have visitors from 16 other states as well. But the reality is most of our visitors are actually from Potawatomi County. So about 68% of our visitors are directly from Potawatomi County. So not only are we generating tourism, but we're also supporting local. Again, tourism again. We have some major exhibitions coming up. We have the Museum of Alternative History, which has garnered national attention. So we have support from the National Endowment for the Arts. We also have a tourism grant from the state of Iowa supporting that exhibition, as well as Google is going to be supporting that exhibition as well. So we expect to garner some national attention for that exhibit. We also have our murals, our Grant Wood murals. We'll be celebrating our 100-year anniversary of those murals being painted right here in Potawatomi County. And so we expect those to be a major driver of tourism over the next year. And with that, we're also spending more money on marketing and tourism. So we spend about $150,000 a year on advertising and marketing. And these exhibits, we're going to do some additional tactics. We're engaging a marketing firm that will allow us to put over 50,000 pieces of materials in local hotels and the airport as well to get some of those tourism dollars in our door.
And do you work with the Council Bluffs Visitor Bureau?
We do. And yeah, we just met with them last week to get guidance from them, and they're helping us through that process and some of the recommendations that we're doing are with the help of the Visitors Bureau.
Okay. Also the Pot County Tourism?
We have same people. Yes. Yeah. So again, they're also going to be helping us through it. So they're the experts and we're going to leverage their knowledge to help us. And then we are also going to be having several large statewide conferences in partnership with the Iowa Economic Development Authority. So we'll be doing the Iowa Creative Places Exchange. So they're basically using us as a model to show how placemaking can be successful for communities. And that will, as well as we're also doing the Iowa League of Cities in the next year. So these are statewide conferences that will draw civic and economic development leaders from across Iowa, increasing visitation, showcasing local investment, and positioning Potawatomi County as a model for arts-driven community growth. Next slide, please. And again, one of those conferences is is with the Visitors and Convention Bureau. The other one is with the Iowa Economic Development Authority we're partnering on. As far as public benefit, obviously we do a lot of programming. We do over 250 programs a year. So not only do we run the Hoff Family Arts and Culture Center, which is a 95,000 square foot facility dedicated to arts and culture, we also provide community theater. So we have over 32 productions a year. We also do the Council Bluffs Symphony Orchestra. They have 4 concerts annually. We just started the children's chorus, the PACE Children's Chorus, which is kids grades K through 5, and they'll do two concerts annually. We do tons of educational programs for all ages. We have over 150 classes and programs. That includes pottery, painting, culinary, lots of wonderful speakers. We have our popular Hofworth Friday programs that support those food entrepreneurs with a food pop-up. We do live local music. The gallery's open. The studio artists have their studios open during those as well. We talked about the gallery exhibition, so we'll have 2 major exhibitions over this next year, as well as we have other local exhibitions that will focus on local artists and supporting them, including Pace New Masters, which is a very popular juried art competition for our community, as well as Pace Junior Masters, which is a youth art competition as well. We work with the county museums, so we do various history exhibits as well as give them opportunities to store some of their treasures in our archival space. And we also support a lot of community programs. So not only do we do Music in the Park here at Bayless Park during the summers, but we work with the Chamber on Celebrate CB, and we support the city on Winterfest. So we have a lot of local impact, and we support our community however we can. And again, regarding arts and our public benefit, our most recent survey shows that 96% of the responders agree that PACE enriches our community. Again, we had nearly 45,000 people participate in PACE programming alone last year, and 98% would recommend PACE to a friend, family member, or colleague. All great numbers to show that people appreciate what we're doing for the community. And again, so just a few of the comments, the positive comments from the survey. So happy you are in our community, great asset. And then the next slide, we talk about revitalization and tying to that 15A.1. The Hoff Center is a former brownfield site that has been rehabbed and redeveloped, and this matches perfectly with that because it has turned into like an economic anchor for the district and for the county by redeveloping that brownfield site and turning it into an arts and culture center. Okay, so what this funding will support is the 250 plus programs, events, classes, performances that are provided for the community and the exhibits. It will also help us with our marketing and our tourism outreach. Again, we talked about how we're going to be increasing our tourism dollars and our marketing dollars this year, so that will help us with that. Again, we're partnering with the Visitors Bureau as well as with some additional marketing agencies to help us get the word out over the next year and placing our materials, about 50,000 different materials in area hotels and the airport and the like. And then as far as economic and community impact, again, we have 95,000 plus visitors to the Hoff Center. We support about $2.3 million in economic activity for the community. We support jobs. We strengthen talent attraction and retention. And of course, we have revitalized a brownfield site as a cultural hub for our community. So it's not just about arts funding, it's about economic development funding. And there's some cute kids from Annie Junior this year, as well as some of our photos from some of the wonderful classes that we have going on at the building. And then I just wanted to highlight, you guys can come visit us at any time. We have lots of wonderful programming coming up. What you'll also note, though, a lot of it is sold out, which means people are showing up and they are enjoying the programming that we're providing for the community. I know Keith said he is coming next month to Diary of Anne Frank. We encourage you all to come join us for that play that we're going to be putting on. We're also working with the Jewish Community Center to put on an exhibit up in the gallery that will correspond with the show on stage. Okay, do you guys have any questions?
What year is this of your existence?
This is, well, we were formerly Bluffs Arts Council. They were created in 1983. In 2016, it was
PACE.
PACE. It was 2016. They were basically revamped to take on this bigger mission of creating an arts and culture center for the community.
The building was opened in 2020.
Building was opened in 2020. Yep.
Closed 2 weeks later.
Closed 2 weeks later due to the COVID pandemic. So that first year and a half was very interesting. But you know, we've seen remarkable growth. So that first year, we saw about 20,000 people participating in programming. Now we're had 20,000 people into the building because of COVID, and now we're up to nearly 100,000 a year.
Is the city continuing their help?
They haven't, but it's an interesting case. They've decided not to. I would say that it hopefully would include you guys from supporting us. And it really depends on the city council members, just like you guys, some people have strong opinions on how the funding should be spent. And of course, their funding comes from the tourism tax, where this is slightly different.
How is your overall economic situation?
I would say stable. Just like anybody else, we're always looking to fundraise, but we are in line with what most arts organizations do. So typically you want to have about 20 to 30% coming from earned income sources, which we do. We have about 28% coming from ticket sales, rentals, programs and the like, and the rest we have to fundraise. And that comes from foundations, grants, personal donors, government support. The state gives us, about $50,000 to $50,000 a year as well.
But let's talk about county outreach a little bit. So I know you work with the museums out in the small communities. Can you tell me a little bit more about some of the things that are coming up for this next year with the museum?
That's always a conversation with the county to figure out what they want to do, what pieces they want to showcase. So we typically go out and have those conversations about what's important to them. I don't think they've decided this next year of what they want to showcase quite yet. I think we're probably also going to lean heavily into the 100-year celebration and incorporating them into those conversations around the Grant Wood. We're going to be doing a lot of side exhibits and co things going on with the 100-year exhibit.
You open up a can of worms.
Sure.
When you talk about economic development.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Council Bluffs.
Mhm.
I'm here to tell you, downtown Council Bluffs needs to find a way to grow, to have an impact, and it's not. Pace has done its share, but you can certainly see what I'm talking about. What would you suggest Council Bluffs, the city of Council Bluffs do? We can develop, just off the top.
Oh, gosh, I think they've done a lot in the last 10 to 15 years. So I would say they're getting better than they were. I think that they could, the Visitors and Convention Bureau has done a great job of sort of promoting Council Bluffs to itself. So they have their website, the Unlike Anything Else, has done a great job of advertising. But I think the reality is it's almost a generational thing. And I think PACE is helping that because we haven't always thought about us being a economic driver. A lot of people feel like they still need to go to Omaha to experience some of the wonderful things that we do have happening right here in Pottawatomie County. So we're trying to do our part as far as engaging younger folks to come into the Hoff Center and experience the art and helping change sort of that narrative that Council Bluffs is great and we have wonderful assets right here in Pottawatomie County.
That, in my opinion, they need to take down the Omni Center and do something with it, that property. That's, you got a lot of historic districts right in downtown Council Bluffs that aren't being promoted. That's one. I have a hard time understanding why, the downtown Council Bluffs can't explode. You've got a lot of tourism coming in these days. So why not head to downtown? Would a 5-star hotel in downtown Council Bluffs work? In my, your opinion? That's what I'd like to see discussed.
Yeah.
And me.
I think there is something to be said about trying to position certain parts of town as entertainment districts. I don't think we've really thought of Council Bluffs in that way. But in order to do that, you need more than just 2 or 3 hotels. It needs to be sort of a whole community discussion.
Exactly right.
And,
A 5-star museum
mhm,
in on the
mhm,
area.
mhm.
Those kinds of things ought to be discussed, ought to be
Right.
as a way to make downtown Council Bluffs more prosperous.
Thank you, Jeff.
And Dana.
Yeah.
The city quit funding about what, 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Keith, you weren't privy to this conversation, but last year we discussed this on a pretty high level. And we decided to go another year and 15. I think the original agreement was a 5-year deal. And this has been ongoing and ongoing and ongoing. And one of the discussions that we had last year was that with decisions made at the state level, it could cause this county to be more reliant on gaming revenue as a stopgap to get us through a couple of years until we're able to budget those expenses. And this has been a topic of conversation since I've been on the board. And, you know, the city has removed their contribution. And I would like to see this county consider the same as we move forward. And only because I firmly believe down the road, is even while I'm on this board, as we've seen in our budget sections, we are becoming a little more reliant on gaming revenue. So with that, I would make a motion that we provide funding to PACE in the amount of $30,000 this year, $15,000 next year, and then 0 thereafter.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I would second that.
Okay.
Again,
Discussion.
I go back to the outreach in the county. And without PACE providing that education and that experience when it comes to preservation of artifacts, I know that several of our smaller museums would just put the things in boxes and stack other boxes on top of them. I know there's significant history out there that is being archived and restored and displayed on a rotational basis with the help of PACE. I think I know that there are several that participate in the shows and come to the PACE on a regular basis. Are there any like SWIPCO buses showing up or SWITA buses that are bringing people from the rural side of the county, bringing in our nursing home residents to see displays, to see shows? I mean, there's not that sort of outreach going on.
No, not directly to the smaller towns, no. But we do have lots of buses of senior living community centers that come in and see shows and come for exhibits and come for tours.
Is there more we could be doing with the county?
Absolutely. One of the things that we're talking about this year is that, you know, they have that wonderful Southwest Iowa art tour. And so this year we're also talking about, since they're already doing some wonderful things out in the county, was actually taking a trolley or a bus from PACE and making a day trip. So we take people from our community out to their communities to experience some of the wonderful things they're doing out in the county. So we're looking at different ways that we can continue to engage, you know, the rural parts of the county. And again, I didn't bring the data, but we do have quite a few from the county that do come for our exhibits and our shows. And so it's not just exclusively Council Bluffs. We do have quite a few of the folks coming in for our activities and our performances.
Do you know how many are coming in to use the dance studio?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can give you, because we don't track zip codes on everybody, I have a good representation of who's coming through the door. I can pull those. We have those zip codes, and I can tell you exactly how many people are coming from the rural parts versus more urban.
Because it truly is a resource that we don't have replicated out in the county.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's important that we continue to support the programming for the PACE building itself.
Yeah.
Because it isn't replicated.
Questions, comments?
I don't think our contribution is going to, going to affect Pace itself as far as being viable, presence in downtown Council Bluffs. But, things do have to have, we're being pressed to budgets. And we're taking a look at everything we do. So maybe this is a way to have you folks, I attend your board meetings.
Mhm.
I know what you guys do,
Mm-hmm.
but, you have to maybe take another look at your business model. And I'll give an example, the Union Station out in Kansas City, ever been down there? My wife and I were down there, it's been several years ago now, but they always have exhibits down there. They had Anne Frank exhibits
Mhm.
down there. And they also have the exhibits of all the artifacts that they recovered from the sinking ship Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
It drew a lot of people.
So there's the one thing about that space is that is a true entertainment district. So there's tons of hotels, there's tons of restaurants, there's tons of shops. That is a different, you can't compare apples to apples, as well as there's a larger population there. So the other thing I would note about that reference is that those exhibits cost a lot of money. Like we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that is not a resource that Pace has. Yep.
And maybe talk Guy Fiorina to moving his restaurant. So, I'm just throwing out,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love for us to eventually be there,
Maybe
but
these are some
that
things
is
that you can
a
talk
bigger
about.
conversation beyond the mission of Pace.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor. You got something else, Susan?
I just want to clarify, though, this has nothing to do with the fact that because we do meet the requirements of IO Code 15.8.1, correct? This has more to do with the fact that you want to, this is about a budget decision, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
county's being cut back all across Iowa. And it's really some ugly stuff, but
Mhm.
it needs to happen and we gotta go along with it. We're cutting back on everything. Do you have something else? Anything?
No.
Okay. Got a motion on the floor by Wickman and a second by Jorgensen to approve 30,000 for this next budget year and 15 for the next budget year after that. Any more discussion?
I just want to vote on 1 year. So if the motion's for 2 years, I can't be in favor of that.
Okay,
We have a motion in a second.
all in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Dana, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate your support.
Next up, Brad Powell and Steve Houston, volunteer co-coordinators of the Wall That Heals in Potawatomi County. Presentation on volunteer needs for hosting the Wall That Heals over Memorial Day weekend at Lewis Central High School. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
This is a big deal, you guys, throughout all of southwest Iowa and into Nebraska.
Yeah, it is a big deal. We're very honored and proud to be able to not only have it come here, but come here on the premier weekend of the year, Memorial Day weekend. That was a big coup for us, so. And to that end, to make it successful, we need lots of volunteers to do it from the community. I think it's 600 plus that we need. At this point, we have 18 volunteers, 23 slots filled so far. It's a little early yet. Kind of slots are there from helping to set it up and tearing it down to the welcome tent that's there to those working in the parking lot. It'll be open 24 hours a day from completion of setup until tear down on the 25th. It's the 22nd to the 25th. So we'll have it around the clock and we need volunteers there around the clock. You never know when people are going to come by and want to look at it there.
They want it open 24 hours, right? For all days that they're here?
Right.
Correct.
Right.
As soon as the wall is set up, it's nonstop.
Nonstop.
During the daytime hours till 7 to 9, they need volunteers to help people parking, getting from parking lots to the wall itself for anyone who may have some mobility issues. We need volunteers in the education tent to provide education for any tours or any groups of people that need it. We need a welcome visitor center. People come in, check in, get going. And overnight is a much smaller need. The Walnut Hills is asking for people overnights. So
Some of us can't stay up all night like we used to, okay?
oh, that's understood. The big deal that we're seeing now, I have over 200 emails out to every school in Potawatomi County, Mills County, OPD, Billy and La Vista, a bunch of organizations, volunteer organizations. And I have a lot of word of mouth, we're gonna be there. We're not seeing that reflect on our sign up Genius website, which is what the law suggests we use to track, which would be easier. And then I have heard that we have some email issues logging in sometimes with some people. So with that, I talked to Rebecca at the VSO. If anyone's having issues using that site, she asked to go ahead and give her a call, and we'll get you signed up and figured out that way. But it definitely helps with the big committee to have these.
What's the date of the event over here at the Veterans Office?
The Resource Festival?
Yes,
April 25th. April 25th.
April 25th, and you'll have a booth there to sign up there in person, right?
We will have
Yes.
presentation there and able to get anybody willing to come help out. Great event.
I think we got a whole bunch of volunteers here that are willing to sign up if you've got a sheet.
Is there training required? When,
There is,
that was confusing when I was out on the website and
so they provide, at 6 o'clock on the 21st, training for volunteers. It's not mandatory for all 600. They say it is mandatory for the leads, to be there. And that's just really to kind of be in line and make sure everybody has appropriate information. And ideally to know where people's names are and such like that, so we can help people where they're trying.
so when is that training time again?
6 PM on the 20th.
So that's Thursday
Yes.
and it's like an hour.
Yeah, it takes about an hour.
About it, yes.
You plan on signing up?
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
What's the website again?
It's Sign Up Genius. In your packet, there should be a flyer with the QR.
The QR code takes you to Sign Up Genius. All the slots are lined up on there.
What about some of us that are technically challenged with electronics
So
to
again,
sign up?
yeah, I'd say if you are definitely interested in having issues with that, call the VSO and we'll get you set up.
Rebecca's working really hard on this, and I really
Yes, she is.
appreciate what she's doing. She's got some passion for doing this.
Absolutely. And it's really the whole
Very
committee
appreciated.
is kind of taking a hand in the volunteer part, and we definitely appreciate it.
Cool, good.
And we are going out and getting on podcasts, and we're meeting with different Optimus organizations or whatever to get out there and see what we can find.
And our PR lady, Kate, is helping as much as she can too.
Yes, she is.
Thank you, Kate.
You guys can add my name to that volunteer list.
Thank you.
Talk to Becky.
Cool.
You want the midnight to 4 a.m. shift, don't you?
Is that,
You want the
Midnight to
midnight to 4 a.m.
you know, I've done that.
Oh, okay, but that was a long time ago, Jeff.
Good guard duty on Armory.
It's But if we know, we want everyone's volunteers, so if you are a night shift worker in general, we care about you, come on out on your days off.
That's neat.
Keep the same sleep schedule.
And you guys came in just to let people know We need volunteers for this. And this coming to our region is huge.
It is extremely huge and, as a veteran and with a large veteran presence in the county, it's definitely something that we all truly believe in and should step up to help.
Like I said, Southwest Iowa, Southeast Nebraska.
Right.
Be a lot of people there.
Absolutely.
Right, and an
You
important,
guys,
an important thing to know is we're going to feed the volunteers.
oh, well, I'll be there. I like to eat. Thanks for coming in, you guys. And thanks for your dedication to this. That's really, really neat.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
One of the things I was gonna add is that no military experience of any kind is required. We also give you T-shirts.
Correct.
Everybody loves a free T-shirt. There's no age requirement. If they are under, I believe the cutoff is 16, we do require that there be an adult present for that group. So Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops, school classes, all eligible to participate. They just need to have some kind of adult chaperone present. Yeah, I think those are just the only other things. You guys did great.
Thank you, Kate. Thanks for coming, you guys. Okay, we'll move to the next one. Sean Shea and Sharon Olmec, Red Barn Schoolhouse, presentation and a discussion under decision on a letter of support for the Red Barn School located in Crescent. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. I'm Karen Omenik. I'm on the governing board of the Red Barn Schoolhouse. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to learn a little bit more about our progress. We were approved by the Iowa State Board of Education in January 2025. And we have been working to find a site for the school, and we now have a site, and we are going to be building. It's just outside of Crescent. It's right next to Crescent City Park on a little over 5 acres, and it's got really neat old growth wood areas. It's got a creek. The school is focusing on nature and arts integration, and we're going to be satisfying all the Iowa state standards and testing, but we're going to layer it with these additional elements and components that will add depth to the education. So as many of you know, our school was closed 3 years ago, and it has really changed the dynamics of our community in a negative way. And we're not only going to replace that school, but we're going to have some better opportunities for the children in our area. So I'd like to turn it over to Sean Shea and take it from there.
I understood we turned in an electronic and
We have a power.
I'll be leaving today from this meeting to go meet with the architects. We're in the final stages of our,
You got it, Mitch.
Yeah, there's two of them, so I'm just trying to say if it's the right one or the other one.
That's
In,
it.
in the
Yeah.
meantime, Sean,
yes,
help me out with the location a little bit. I'm at the Crescent ball field right now.
okay.
Now, where is,
Straight east, we abut the Crescent ball field. The property line adjoins the Crescent ball field.
okay,
So ironically, the Crescent grade school that Council Bluffs community owns is next to the maintenance building and the ballpark, and our school is going to be on the other end of that.
Okay.
line.
Not bad.
It's a hay field right now.
And it adjoins Crescent Creek, and there's some unique areas. We really have a great nature area that we're going to be able to use in this experiential learning. We have a unique concept. And it's not kids in a building sitting at a desk looking out a window. These kids are going to be outside 50 or 60% of the time, going through projects and experiences on that 5 acres. And then it's a quite unique system. And we have great support from the state of Iowa. And I believe we are the only charter school in a small town the size of ours. There's no rural towns that have charter school grade schools like ours. So we're kind of a unique thing, and they want to see this work because all of these small towns have had their grade schools shut down and consolidated. And we're gonna be the example of the direction the state would like to see education go.
So this is a K-5 program.
It is.
Does not include preschool.
Not yet. We have plans.
And how many teachers and faculty are you going to have?
We'll have
that?
4 to start out with 45 children. So you can tell our student to teacher ratio is gonna be quite small. And we believe that's a component of how education should work.
And I just think it's helpful to know that we'll be having a part-time naturalist and a part-time artist on staff as well. And then we'll be doing outreach to places like Pace and other places to draw in community artists so that that resource will be brought into the school. There's going to be a lot of collaboration with community, and that'll just enhance the engagement, the re-engagement in the community.
Well, and I want to point out, we do have some board members here, Jessica Messerschmidt, Jerry Larson, and then a founding board member is Cynthia Gary, who has 40 years of curriculum development experience. She's a PhD, and we've had 3 PhDs active in the development of the curriculum that we put together. And we have a whole library of support documents that show that this nature and experiential education that we're doing, how fundamentally and psychologically helpful it is to small children coming up and being educated. You know, one of the things we're going to do is a portfolio, and the portfolio is a collaboration between all of the teachers and the parents and the child, who will lead the assessment that goes on for this education. You know, growing up through root school, I'm for the portfolio because as I evolved through grade school, they always said that's going in your permanent record. So we're not having a permanent record in our school.
And I
You mean
think,
it's still out there?
yeah. Watch out.
I'm scared.
Oh, no.
And I think we're one of the first charter schools on this side of the state, Hamburg and then us. And it's important that people understand that we're a public school. So we will be abiding by all the public regulations that any other public school like Council Bluffs or other ones do. And we get a dedicated revenue stream from the state, but it doesn't support enough resources for the school. So we'll continue to do fundraising and hit philanthropic agencies to support it. But I think that's important that people understand that there's been a lot of fear because it hasn't been around. And as Sean said, we have a lot of support from the state, and we have Green Hills AEA working with us hand in hand. And we also are 4 miles from Hitchcock. So they're an integral partner.
I understand you got a grant or 2
Yeah,
already?
we did. We have a $500,000 state startup grant that will help with some of the construction and operations. So, yeah.
Sharon, I got a question about the city. Are you gonna be annexed in that property?
No,
Is there any advantage to that?
maybe with time, but just we want to get the school built. And so it's not a huge building. It's like 4,000 square feet. And
Okay.
I think if we go through this, you'll be able to see a concept of the site. And, you know, you've got the packet, and
Right.
you'll be able to, so I'm not gonna drag this out. Let's go on to the next one.
We're gonna educate everybody too, so.
So it'll be on well and septic?
it'll
City
be on
water.
septic, and we're hoping to do Crescent City water. Public wells are difficult.
So, okay, here's the top view of the property, which is to my side. And you can see the 5 acres there. You can go ahead and
On the
scroll.
left-hand side.
Yeah. Here's the topography. We're gonna have the driveway. We've worked with the engineer to make sure we've got good vision coming in and out. We've got the loop for any emergency vehicles. All of those, basic requirements are being covered and well thought out. So this shows two phases of our project. The first building, in the center of that picture it's a 4,000 square foot building, which will accommodate our enrollment goals of 45 the first year. We'll be expanding. We're going to have a second phase that'll go on in a couple of years. We're talking about, you can see future pre-K over by the entrance. We're gonna have a dining hall. And then out in the nature area, we are gonna have two areas, staging areas, shelters, almost like a picnic pavilions. And we'll stage the kids there and have the projects that we'll be working on in nature. And like I said, well, the children will be outside 50 or 60% of the time. My two grandsons went to Four Seasons Nature School in Hummel Park, and it didn't matter how deep the snow was. That was their responsibility to be geared up to spend the time outside and go through their projects there. So part of our development has come from that well-known concept from Four Seasons Nature School. Okay, we can go on. If you got any questions, I'd appreciate it.
Are you asking anything from us today?
We would like to get a letter of support from the Board of Supervisors for our project for the community of Crescent. We're serving rural children, possibly underserved. One of the things that I personally experienced is two of my grandchildren chose to go to Underwood. So they go to Underwood School, but the bus is not allowed to drop them off on our property. I have to go to Moran's Feedlot Road, which is a gravel road. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a gravel road. And the Underwood school bus stops and a line of cars are there to pick up Underwood kids because of whatever process works with bus routes in the school system. Now, my two granddaughters who live next door to me go to Lewis and Clark. And their bus ride is generally between 45 and 50 minutes. So I've asked the school board, isn't that excessive? And I don't think the state, they have a recommendation for 25 to 30 minutes. Well, their response was, those children get an education on that bus. Well, I'm not sure that's the education. 45 minutes. So I wasn't very happy with that response. So we are trying to serve the underserved children of a rural community in Pot County. That's where we're at.
You know, I think this is way beyond our scope. I don't have any issues with the letter of support. Excuse me, authorizing you to sign that. What,
Is that a motion?
sure.
Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
Sean, just from my knowledge, and maybe the knowledge of the board, there is a per pupil reimbursement for private school. Doesn't the property tax dollars follow that child?
They do in that instance, but we are a public charter and we do not get the property tax. And we don't get the property tax money. And there's been some discussion about that. But if we have a child that goes to our school, we will get the state portion, which is about $8,300 or $8,400 per student. But if that student lives in the Council Bluffs school system, Council Bluffs Public Schools gets the $10,400 in property taxes. And we're going to take care of the education of that child, but we won't get that funding stream.
And you're gonna be able to make things work with that amount of.
Yeah. We've been.
I mean, I know that's way beyond. my-
And historically, when the Crescent School first proposed to close in 2017, we started a 501c3 nonprofit corporation to fundraise and enhance keeping Crescent open. And the reduction of school bus routes wasn't part of our purview. So we weren't able to do the things we needed to do to keep Crescent open. But we've used that 501c3 when they closed our school almost 3 years ago now. We used that to apply and as the vehicle to put this school together.
Didn't we approve something a year or
They
so?
came in and presented. I don't think we.
We've been trying to
Signed
keep
a
all
letter.
public entities informed of what we're doing and our concept.
Right.
And basically, for me, the focus of our whole project is the children of our community. Pot County, Crescent, it's the children. That's why I'm here. So, yeah, we're asking you for help. Just a letter of support.
I got that. Got a motion and a second for the board chair to sign a letter of support for the Red Barn Schoolhouse. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Got your letter.
Thank you very much.
You know what? Good luck with this. It's
Yeah.
neat. Yeah, it's really neat.
If you know any kids that need a really great education, send them my way.
I love the fact that you're focusing on education for kids. That needs to happen.
Right.
I remember when I was in school many, many years ago, Iowa, education-wise, Iowa was in the top rankings for childhood education. And today, I don't.
We're not.
Well, and I'll just, Crescent was always the top in the Council Bluffs school system as far as academics. And we're just going to build upon that to try to, that's our goal, is to keep that
Academic.
high caliber academic.
It was a blue ribbon school.
Right.
Yes.
And you may
That was a
very well
big deal.
have people moving in your area just
Yeah.
for
We-
your years.
We did a community
About
survey
the
about,
60s.
because the school is going to be a year-round school, 4-day student week. It's a little different, but we did survey the community and they were all interested in the outdoor exploration and that kind of setup that we have. So when I was out there surveying, I had at least 4 people say to me, I'd move into your community just for this.
And when we opened last year, before we got our building leased, we were gonna open last year. And the first day of enrollment, we met our goal. We had that many kids apply in the very first day. And so this will help us in promoting our project. And we think it's a
I
great
told you before, I got out of my truck somewhere, one of these little towns, and there was kids at the playground at one of the schools, and you could just, it's really weird. You hear these kids playing and screaming and running. And I don't hear that in Crescent anymore, and that's hard.
We're gonna bring back the joy of learning. We're bringing that back.
And I'll say just, I'm Jessica Messerschmidt, I'm on the board. I'm a geologist by trade, but I'm also a mom. And, we came from Douglas County, moved to Harrison County. But one of the big reasons is because I had, gone all over Douglas County trying to find a school that was, something that I felt would be good for my girls. And Red Barn, came on my radar and I've been involved ever since. And so even listening to this woman, everyone has kids. A lot of people have kids, and talk about bringing people into the community. Schools bring people, families.
You even be attracting homeschoolers.
Oh,
We will,
absolutely.
we will.
See them.
We already know that.
County,
Yeah.
people are interested.
Yeah, there's a couple parents waiting for us because they want us to open.
I'm
Yes,
one of
ma'am.
them.
Okay.
There's some interesting, fairly recent research about the benefits of children just being outdoors for a significant amount of time. There was research done where they were measuring the child's immune. And after just 7 days of being able to be outdoors, they did things like planted blueberry bushes and things like that to create kind of a natural area. In 27 days, this significant increase. Another one has to do with attention deficit. A lot of our kids now we all have attention deficit because our direct attention gets pulled into things like our cell phone. And so we all have fatigue of our attention. What is found is that you only have to go outdoors and you begin to restore direct attention capacity. It's a finite amount that we have. We're squandering most of it, but just being outdoors is almost like a prescription for bringing up our direct attention. And these is just the beginning. There's all kinds of research being done now to just examine our lifestyle and how much time we spend and how much time we spend on it and what it is doing.
Thank you. Do you have a letter?
We sent it to your packet,
Okay.
so if
Alright.
you can,
Should be in
yeah.
the package, Chairman.
And I'm gonna go be outdoors now.
And screen.
You'll learn something.
Thanks so much.
We all need
Yeah.
recess right now.
Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the information.
Just
A minute to clear out. Yeah, we done. Didn't we?
yes.
Yes. We done the
Oh,
vote.
yes.
Okay, next up, discussion and or decision on funding request for veterans banners on Veterans Memorial Highway. Good morning. How are you?
Good.
We had that presentation last
week.
If I can just clarify a couple of things with you. What is your plan, your ongoing, your plan for ongoing maintenance of the flags, and the hangers and that kind of stuff? Do you have funding set aside for that?
Okay. We're in the process of getting the money for the brackets. The city has agreed to hang the brackets for
Right.
us.
Right, what's your plan to maintain these down the
Oh, to
road?
maintain them. Okay. We have a couple companies in mind for the brackets. We've not signed the contract yet. Same with the banners. And once the city does the initial installation of them, what we're gonna do is monitor the wear of the actual banner. And when it's determined that that particular banner looks weathered or whatever, and it needs to come down, we will be in a contract with a sign company. There's a couple I've talked to, but when they've got a crew, and the crew has worked with the city before, and they will be able to get that banner down and at the same time put a new one up.
How are you gonna pay for those?
Hmm.
How will you pay for those?
Well, that's why we're seeking funding. We're gonna be we're gonna be seeking donations on a regular basis. It's not gonna end when this initial set of banners goes up. We're gonna continue to seek donations. And our budget, we've allowed extra money in there just for the maintenance, for the banners and the brackets.
Okay. Have you, the RVA, Veterans Administration has a donation fund? Have you spoke with them about
Yes, yes.
participation in this? And what kind of what are they doing?
You're talking the county VA, right?
Yes.
Yes. We've talked to Peggy on a number of occasions. she's supportive and has agreed to help. She's not said anything about a certain amount or anything like that. But we have talked to her.
Um, Well, I kind of wish you would spend a little time with them and find out what they're able to participate in and then come back to us and let us know what you ended up with them. They have that donation fund specifically for things like this.
Okay.
And the fund that's set up with the community foundation, or is that a different one?
Different one. They have like, I don't know, $40,000 to $50,000 in there. Right in that ballpark.
Is this part of the 250th anniversary of America?
Pardon?
Part of the 250th anniversary for America? Is this part of that? No. Just strictly veterans.
Well, this is not part of that specifically, but we would want to go ahead and work with them on that. The main thing about this is this would be pretty much a continual thing where it would bring community recognition to the veterans, as well as tourism to the community. We see it as a big plus. I've talked to different project coordinators in various towns that have done this, and it's been positive.
Oh, yeah.
How are you going to connect with the veterans? It's my understanding, what you explained last week is
How are
that
we
each of
going to
the
get
family
the
members
veterans?
would pay for their
Okay.
banner.
Okay. We're gonna put it on our website, Iowa Veterans Foundation website. We're gonna put it on there, the application itself. But we're also gonna have paper applications for someone who may not have a home computer. We're gonna have paper applications that they can turn in. There's different places in town that have volunteered to keep paper applications at their location. And then the members of the Iowa Veterans Foundation would be able to pick them up. There's community organizations like the Veterans American Legion and the local VFW. They are also on board with this. They will collect applications as well. And when they have them, they'll give us a call and we can pick them up. But like I said, we also have the means to do it online. We're gonna put out notices of the application process and when we'd like them in. We'll probably put an ad in the non-pareil.
Do they have to have ties to the city of Council Bluffs, or can it be any veteran located anywhere in the county?
Okay, let me make sure I heard that right.
Can they be from anywhere in the county?
Okay. We'll take any veteran, regardless if it's Council Bluffs or not.
Okay.
I would imagine most of them would be from Council Bluffs, just because that's where they're gonna be displayed. But we're not gonna turn any money away. Yeah, the more the better. We really think it's gonna be easy to get to 100 applications, because smaller towns have gotten that and more. So this is just a starting point, and there's plenty of room along that stretch of highway for more, because we're gonna put 4 to a pole.
How much funding do you have now?
We have 15,000 approximately right now. I just dropped off 100 today. I'm going to meetings like about 2 weeks ago, I went to Centersphere, and there's a few other places like the Lions and uh, the Elks. I'm going to meetings and talking to them and getting funds from them. So like right now, it's around 15,000. We'd really appreciate your support on this.
Susan, the only reason I made some of those comments is what you brought up last week when you said, make sure that those things, when they're all tattered and torn and falling down, are taken care of and not become an eyesore.
Right.
And I'd like to see some kind of a plan for that, maybe some funding set aside for that. I'm not saying this isn't a good idea. I just think we need,
More information.
yeah, and I'd like to see them make a presentation or visit and with the VA with their funding. And then maybe come back to us with an actual plan of this is what we're gonna do. This is what money we have put in here to take care of these when they're tattered and torn, because nobody wants to see that. And then maybe we can, I'm not opposed to any of this, I just, maybe a little, but, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 people in my family, veterans, so.
I'm from Audubon, Iowa originally, and I've got a banner, the Audubon on Main Street. I think we talked about this before, weather. I mean, cold weather really affects that material. I wouldn't necessarily leave them up all year round. Plus, if you have a veteran's banner district, the family ought to be willing to put in something to replace that, to repair that damage. I mean, families, my family, my sister, my dad, my cousin, Army, Navy, I'm a Marine. My sister was the one that organized this for us. And she takes care of what damage there is, putting them up and taking them down. I think they leave them up maybe 6 months out of the year. But then you have another opportunity, you could have more veterans come in and more banners being presented next year, the year after that. You have all kinds of options here that people, once they're up, people see them, I think you're gonna get a lot.
I would like to see a letter of support from the city of Council Bluffs and from the sign company. When you tell us what they're going to do, I'd like to see it in writing so that I know that there's that ongoing commitment and that it's not a one and done sort of scenario. I've spoken about banners that have gone up in communities that they look great for the first 90 days. And then as brackets starting to weaken or wind storms come through, they just need attention and everybody's pointing fingers like, well, I don't know who's going to fix it. So I'm just trying to avoid some of those scenarios.
So I don't know what you want, Chairman Shea, if you want just do nothing or you want a motion to
Well,
table
they're
or.
asking for money today, and this is all good conversation. And I think the funding is really key to this whole deal. We're tight from the city, or from the state, excuse me, and we're being asked to cut back, so what, does anybody have thoughts on funding? I cannot make motions.
I would make a motion to deny the request and ask them to come back with a maintenance plan. Some correspondence from the Veterans Administration to see if some of their funding can take care of that. Address some of the concerns that Susan has. Like, do we have a letter of support from the City of Council Bluffs? What about the sign companies and an actual a budget, a list of where things are going to be spent and that kind of stuff, and then maybe we could address it at a later date.
I'll second that.
Does that make sense to you? You understand his concerns?
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to supporting your efforts. We just need to get more. details.
Understood.
Okay,
So your motion is to request a maintenance plan with.
My motion was to deny the request for the funding. And I think they've got the direction from this board on what they need to provide. I don't think it has to be part of the motion. But you want it part of the motion.
I don't think so.
So you want your motion just, okay, to
We're
deny.
leaving it open for funding. They just need more info. That's all.
And you can come back anytime you've got that additional
we
material.
can do that.
Okay.
Start with Peggy at Veteran Services, though.
Okay.
Okay, motion to deny. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll look for your info. Thank you.
Who
Thanks
was
for
the second
coming
on
in.
that?
Tim made it.
Jeff,
Jeff second.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
thank you.
Next up, Tracy Noscable, Environmental Health Coordinator, Planning and Development, discussion and or decision to approve appointment of Tracy Noscable on or as County Weed Commissioner. Warning.
Morning. I'll move that for you, right?
Okay? Thank you.
Tracy's been our weed commissioner for, gosh, how long?
Since 2019.
I'll second.
Okay. Questions, comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Or anybody deny? Sorry. Motion carried.
You wear a lot of hats. Keeps it entertaining.
You never know what you're doing that day, right? Okay.
That was easy, thank you.
Number two is to approve and sign resolution 14/2026 entitled Resolution for the Destruction of Noxious Weeds.
So move.
Okay,
Second, I'd like some discussion on that too, please, Brian.
okay. I do too.
Tracy, do you have that resolution in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm looking at it. I just want you to go over one item in there, and that is item 3. All weeds on a county trunk, which is, I'm guessing, any county road, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Between the fence line shall be destroyed and controlled by the adjoining property owner. So does that mean that our road ditches are the responsibility of property owner? Maybe that's a legal question.
You got anything on that?
The roads department has an integrated vegetation management plan in IRVM.
Speak a little louder, would you?
They have a vegetation management plan, and we collaborate with the roads department so that
Right.
we get complaints on those pieces. We notify the roads department.
Okay,
So we primarily work on a complaint basis.
The
Yes.
right of way area, they know we have like certain areas that are problem areas every year. If they notice a bad area, they usually will go out and take care of it. We do get a lot of complaints, or if someone calls in, we'll pass it on to them.
Okay.
And then they will go out and take care of it.
Okay.
If it's in the right of way though, for the most part, we will handle it. But once it gets to the property line and everything, it gets passed on to the landowner.
And my last question, I promise. A thistle in a farmer's field. Do you get calls on those?
I've gone out to where I wish I've had a bean hook and I would have gone out and cut it, yes.
And then it's up to the farmer, right, to take care of that.
Yeah, anytime we get anything.
And if
on
they
that
don't, we
list.
cite them, right?
We either cite them, we'll usually give them a certain
Okay.
amount of time.
We
or
warn them first, then we cite them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I wanted.
once they pod out though, and everything, it's too late.
Quick question. Knox, when I was younger, traveling on a country road, Southwest Iowa, but, I used to see a lot of sunflowers and a lot of thistle. I don't see that to the extent I used years ago. is somebody, I mean, is somebody taking on those responsibilities, killing them off? I don't know. State, maybe the state will do that, spray the highways and then the seeds disappear and all this is going down.
The deer are eating them.
Huh?
The deer are eating them.
No, if it is like, even on the secondary list, like, last few years, we saw a lot of parsnip. And I know they'd been hitting that wild parsnip.
Okay.
And then lately, haven't seen as much of that. Like, if it is,
I don't know.
we get like, every December, legislative, they put out the list. It's actually been the same since I've been here. But, you know, anything on that, they destroy.
Thanks.
Okay, got a motion and a second for the resolution 14/2026 for the destruction of noxious weeds. Any other questions or discussion? Mary Ann, would you do a roll call?
Chairman Shay,
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Jones,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgens.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Tracy, thank you again for coming out to
Not a
that fields to faucets and your comments that day.
I'd actually been to all the people that put it on for water test, actually. They were a good bunch of people. I told them if they, get more stuff going on, to give us a call.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, Tracy. Maria, thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Next up, Justin Bracker, attorney, discussion under decision on property parcel number 774115429008 in Minden, Iowa. Okay.
Good morning. I sent you all a letter that I got from Graham Jura, who is the city attorney for Minden. Minden is trying to obtain a parcel that is currently held on, or it's, there's a tax sale on this parcel, so the county has tax interest on it. As I understand, it's a vacant lot that the city of Minden would like to put a park on of some sort. I got approached by McClure, gosh, it's probably been about a year ago. And then Minden has been working on getting this accomplished. I think Mr. Jura is asking that the county abate the taxes on the parcel. I know generally when we have similar circumstances, the county will abate the taxes once it's been transferred to the entity that's going to, you know, do whatever project. We had one kind of similar in the city of Council Bluffs last year where the county actually redeemed the tax sale and then we took ownership of the property and we were able to abate the taxes when that happened. So I would, I mean, if the board would like to abate the property taxes, I would suggest doing so after the city of Minden has taken ownership of it. Then they can move forward with their project and then we can abate the taxes. I think in order to do that, in order for Minden to put the work into getting the property, they want to know for sure that the taxes will be abated. So I don't know if there's a, if the board would like to do a letter of approval or intent to abate the taxes once Minden owns the property.
I wouldn't be in favor of abating the taxes with the current property owner and knowing what the adjoining property owners are doing.
I believe the state code allows investors to assign certificates to another investor.
Sure.
Can we as a county assign this to Minden?
So Minden can, they have interest in the property as well, so they can redeem the tax sale.
So they would have to go through the notification
Yep.
process? You don't have to.
The county would not have to, Minden can. I also believe in this case, the property owner is around and available. They just aren't able to pay the taxes and it's not worth it to them, I would assume. And so I think that the property owner may be willing to give their interest to the city of Minden. So that would avoid going through the process of the tax redemption.
So we've done this many times
Yeah,
before,
we
and
have.
I don't have one lick of a trouble doing it again. Obviously, the city of Minden takes it, they're going to eliminate their current lien on it for the removal of that. I mean, that's the prudent thing for us to do. I'm with Susan though, and I'm sure you are too, that we won't abate taxes until ownership's changed.
Yeah, I would suggest not doing that. That's why I have suggested
Next question,
writing a
what you
letter.
recommend for us?
I mean, obviously, like Tim said, we've done this several times. I think that there is a good public interest to abate the taxes. If it's going to be a park for the city of Minden, the county's always been a good neighbor with cities for situations like this, but
You got-
I would suggest a letter of intent or some sort of agreement with the city, excuse me, the city, that the taxes will be abated once the city owns the property. So that they can move forward comfortably knowing that we will do that, but we're not doing that until
Till it's transferred.
the deal's done. That way nobody can sweep in and, buy the tax certificate and redeem it in the meantime.
Okay.
So what do you want, a motion to, abate the taxes once the, ownership is changed to the city of Minden?
I like that.
You can do that, or you can do a motion to approve the chair to sign a letter of intent to abate the taxes once the.
All right, I'll do that. I'll make a motion to authorize the chair to sign a letter of,
Second that.
abatement of those once the ownership's changed. Is that good enough for you, Susan?
You finish right here.
You get that, Mary Ann?
To sign a letter with the city of Minden on the parcel for the abatement of taxes, and what do you want to come after that?
That's it.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, motion by Wickman, seconded by Jones. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, all opposed? Motion carried. Next up, Kristen Bracker, discussion or decision to approve board chairman to sign subordination agreement for property on 744 Minster, Council Bluffs, Iowa. Haven't we been in on this before?
Yeah, so we haven't been on this particular issue, but this is the property. There's going to be, I believe, 3 houses built on a couple parcels of land. This is one that Pot County redeemed the tax sale and then gave it to, I believe, 712 in order to proceed with the project. In order to build the property, they're going to take out a loan. And in order to get the loan, the bank would like our forgivable promissory note to be in second place, which I understand. That's probably along with what the board wanted to have happen. So I would suggest moving forward with signing a subordination agreement. Oh, I was just gonna say, unfortunately, I provided you with an example of what the subordination agreement will look like, but until they take out a loan, they're not able to put the loan information in the subordination agreement. So
Okay.
this would be asking the chair to sign the agreement once it is.
Once the loan
Finalized.
is commenced or whatever. Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll second.
All that means is, if something goes bad, they get paid first.
And we wouldn't forgive our loan until that has been paid out.
Well, we made an agreement, if I remember right, we abated the taxes or a forgivable, well, it was a forgivable loan, that's why we had to
Yeah.
do it. It was to the amount of the back taxes that were due on those parcels,
I believe so.
right?
I believe so, yeah.
So what's this one do that didn't do?
So,
This one gives the bank first place.
Yeah.
Right
Oh,
now,
okay.
right now, we're in
Alright,
first place.
yep.
because,
Okay.
you know, whatever loan was filed first is in first place, and so ours has been on file for about a year now. So,
Okay,
In the event something happens and the house doesn't proceed, the bank would get the opportunity to finish building the house.
okay.
They wouldn't have to.
Just as long as they build the houses, get them on the tax rolls. All right, got a motion to approve by Wickman and a second by Miller. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Kristen, thanks for your work on this.
And I will get the appropriate documents to you when they are ready.
Okay,
Thanks,
thanks.
Kristen.
Okay, next up, Jason Slack, Director of Buildings and Ground, and Ben Shudak. Discussion and or decision on decorations for the courthouse on the 250th birthday. Guard Nation. Hi, guys.
Hi. So, Ben and I were thinking that, we need some 250 bling for the courthouse. And we wanted to get the board's blessing on, purchasing some 250 anniversary flags for the courthouse and some light pole banners for the parking lot.
I don't have any issues with it as long as they're made in the United States. Don't get that China stuff. Maybe I probably shouldn't say that.
That's okay. The brackets are metal, they'll stay up.
Yep.
Possibly something else in the future.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you have a plan for that, Jace? What you're gonna do and where you wanna put everything?
Well, we were gonna put 2 banners on each light pole out front. Just the 250, the official 250 flag banner or whatever they have. And then, where the American flag hangs in the atrium, we were looking at maybe some 250 like ribbons that would go on each side of the flag. The same length as the flag is high.
Just have those in your packet.
Yeah. Is that in your budget, Jace?
Yeah. Covered it.
Okay. What do you want? Do you want an approval to move forward with some?
What about the health building and like the veterans building? Are we doing anything with them as well? Or?
We don't have anything in the works right now, but we wouldn't be opposed to doing anything in any of those buildings.
Let's see if it's in their budgets. You know? Let's do the courthouse today on here. Anybody want to make a motion?
Well, what's do you have a cost for that, Jace?
It'll be under 1,000.
Oh, 100,000?
Yep.
Wonder it's in your budget. Okay. I don't have any issues with it, Brian. If that's what you want, I'll make that motion.
All right, thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
So the ribbons that are gonna hang in the atrium next to the flag, I mean, the example you showed us, it looks like the materials, the fabrics are different colors. How are we going to make sure that everything is, I mean, to me, this looks kind of odd.
Well, we just basically copied and pasted a flag. So the colors aren't gonna look right there, you know, going with our actual photograph that we took. What we're gonna find is gonna be the same material and hopefully the same color, but that isn't necessarily the flag that we're gonna buy. That's just an example of a 250-year flag.
Oh, and that's where I didn't know if we could use the banners that you're doing outside, if we could put those inside next to the flag instead of the other ones that you've got.
Yep, whatever you guys wanna do.
Have you guys done any costing as far as, projecting an image on, you know, the courthouse or, you know, anything along those lines, or has that ever been done before?
We have projectors in this room that would, instead of the TVs at one point, but
Okay.
not in the main area. We have,
Christmas time, you always see big old Santa Claus,
oh, yeah,
garage door, that kind of thing.
yeah.
I like the banners better.
Well, yeah, but.
A little more solid.
That, yeah. First, addition.
Yep. Okay. I got a motion by Whitman and a second by Jones to approve the decorations in your budget. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thanks for working on this, you guys. That'd be neat.
How about a timeline? When do you guys want them up and then when you want to have them taken down?
Whenever you think. I say the sooner the better.
Okay.
The heck, it's only one year for the anniversary.
It's a year-long celebration, I think.
Right. Next year, Ottawatomie County will be 180. So that's another one that's coming up.
Okay.
So
We can work on outside banners.
Use the same brackets. Thanks for working on this, you guys. That's neat.
All right. Thank you.
Like it.
Thanks.
Okay, next up, we got committee appointments. Jeff, you got anything?
Let's see, I was at the legislative coffee Saturday. That was the first one. Not a lot to report at this time, but things are moving ahead. They have a funnel week coming up, and after they get reported out of the committees, we'll have more stuff.
What did you say, legislative coffee, and don't have anything to report?
Okay. I was at the VA last week. Met with the developer on some projects. Went to the CB Chamber Coffee. We had a drainage district meeting last week. And conservation board meeting. I met over at Carter Lake with WIDA. Carter Lake's very interested in promoting its town through us. At a trails meeting, at union meetings, EMA meeting, youth leadership, the assessor board meeting, and then legislative coffee. And that was about meeting out. Susan?
I attended the MAPPA RPA meeting. I did a presentation to the youth leadership group. There were 7 schools represented and 22 students. That was kind of refreshing to hear their thoughts on government. I attended the legislative coffee. 2 topics that I need to do a lot more research on is with townships and funding and EMS as essential services. So that's on my assignments. And I will be going to NACO for the end of the week, for the next meeting. So in DC.
DC, you're going? Okay, good. Good. Tim?
Both of those things you brought up, Susan, are things that I'm really watching. I mean, one of the things that can drastically change how this county operates is if we get the responsibility to handle all of our townships.
Yes.
And we can't do that. We can't handle that.
They provide a vital
At the
function.
same time. I don't know that they get it, really. And what was the other one?
EMS is essential.
Yeah.
And that kind of falls into the township.
Yes, then we would have to have, would not have to have, we would have the authority and responsibility to levy for those volunteer fire departments.
Oh my God.
And, that's why our township elected officials are so important in this county.
Yes.
So.
Not an easy, it's a thankless job too.
Well, I think it's our role to help educate the legislators on what the negative side effects would be to those decisions.
Agreed.
Well, the auditor's office, well, like maybe their duties would change some too.
Oh, absolutely.
And, it's,
They would be paying the mowers.
I
at
don't
the
I don't
cemeteries.
know that the legislature is going to go in the direction from my conversations that I've had in terms of completely turning it over, but I think there may be some discussion and maybe some action this year on allowing boards of supervisors to make appointments because counties from across the state are expressing concerns that they cannot find township trustees. They don't have people to step up and volunteer for those positions. And so allowing the supervisors to make those appointments would ease things to continue to let functions happen that need to happen, and such as fire protection and so forth.
we're starting to see the lack of interest or the lack of volunteerism in our townships right now. We're seeing that already.
Yes,
You know, I think, what do we pay them, $50 a meeting?
yes.
Is that something like that?
We just bumped it up, remember?
I mean,
It's a thankless job, but it's so vital.
It is.
anyway, those are the ones that I'm
As the
watching.
population ages across the state, it will become more and more of a concern.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, you know, I can start a Tim Wickman's lawn mowing service to take care of the cemeteries in the county.
Yeah,
You
that'll
want all
work.
those complaints?
No, I don't. No, I wouldn't want them.
No.
I'm sorry.
I got robots to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
Okay, next up would be public comments. Do we have any?
We do. Kelly Jones Schneegas?
Pretty good.
Schneegas, okay,
Schneegas.
all right, okay. And Tim Keeley.
Am I good to stay right here?
Please state your name and address. We usually come up the podium.
Okay. I saw that in the notes, but didn't see the podium back over
Okay,
here.
okay.
So, I am Kelly Jones Shanegas. I live at 304 Fifth Street in Neola. I was raised in Neola. My parents lived there. We're coming up on 50 years. My mom lives, on South Second Street. My brother owns a property on Front and First Street in Neola. I've just returned after being away for about 34 years back to my hometown. I'm very excited to be back here. I'm come today just to follow up on the issue that was presented in regards to the traffic situation in the town of Neola. When I lived in Colorado Springs, I worked for a level 2 trauma center and worked with city traffic engineers on traffic safety and prevention campaigns on behalf of our trauma center. I only mention that to say that the methods in which the stop signs were put up and maybe some of the conversations around the safety traffic concerns in the town of Neola maybe could use some tweaking. If you will, typically, traffic safety goes along, there's laws that are in place to help promote safety and prevention of injuries and fatalities on the roadways. That goes along with education and enforcement. I think that there's some tremendous lacking in terms of infrastructure in just the traffic setup in Neola, particularly, the recent thing with the addition of the 4-way stop, which one was not really presented to the community in a way that advised travelers that it was coming. I literally left town at 4:15 on that afternoon and returned after I dropped my mom off around 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I was like, the stop sign that's been there for years since I've lived here is now blinking. And as I got to the intersection, there were 2 more stop signs that were brand new that were not blinking. And that happened within about 2 hours. Anyway, I understand the need to address the speed limits in Neola. There are 4 main areas that you can enter the town of Neola. One coming off of the interstate where there is a marked 25 miles per hour speed sign. I know personally someone had a privately owned radar gun and has collected data. It's a rarity that you see somebody even at 30 miles or less, and we've got lots of data to back that up. So that's one of the areas that seems to be of no concern in terms of the speed in the town of Neola. Interestingly, if you are to go out of Neola, opposite, coming off the interstate, going to the interstate, there is not a single speed limit sign from Front Street to the interstate. None, 0. That speaks to what is the overall plan for traffic awareness and traffic patterns within the city.
the mayor mentioned last week that there's 2 traffic awareness signs that blink what your speed is. The one coming from the Underwood side coming into Neola, I don't think has worked for 2 years. You're either going 3 or you're going 2. I mean, that plays into how are you educating your community and making it a priority if you're using faulty equipment. There apparently is a concern coming from the new addition into town on 5th Street because they thought it was concerning enough to put a speed hump. Again, without any communication with the community, that too has been removed. But the sign still says there's a speed hump there. There's been a walking path that is erected on that side of town where there apparently is a speeding issue that warranted a speed hump being, that literally is probably 2 feet off of that roadway with no protection from that thing. And then the last thing I'll just add is I believe the speed going through the town of Neola, where it concerns me, is at 4th and Front Street, because you cannot see to enter the roadway. I travel from 5th Street to 2nd Street numerous times a day to go to my mom's house. I will not go on 4th Street, and I drive an SUV. You cannot see out around the trucks that are parked with not enough line of sight at that intersection. I know that there's rumor of changing 4th Street in that section to a one-way street, which does not eliminate risk for pedestrians crossing the roadway there. It creates another traffic pattern that people in our population that have lived there for their entire lives to have to get used to, for new drivers to have to get used to, and it doesn't.
Have you addressed the city council?
I have not, and
that's where
I'm a little bit
99% of this is.
Yes, and I am late to the game since I've been back to Neola. Life kind of has taken me in a lot of different directions, but I was just made aware of the meeting last week, and it has just weighed on me, the issue particularly at 4th Street and the speeds in which people travel. What I heard from the meeting last week was a lot of focus on the farmers and semis, but we have an elderly population. We have young drivers. We have a lot of recreational travel that are also bringing big rigs into that town, and we want that traffic into our town. We also have kids that are out playing and walking. And so I don't think throwing up an extra stop sign without addressing the whole, the overall.
Which we
issue.
can't do. That's got to be the city.
I know, and I guess I'm here today just as a voice for education and enforcement to someone that impacts the entire county, and I know that's outside of the city of Neola.
So you're saying yes to the stop sign or no to the stop sign?
I say no to the stop sign. We don't enforce the speed limits. In my time in Neola, and since I've been back here, that I'm usually at my mom's house where that's main speed limit is an issue right there. I was stopped there, pulled over in my mom and dad's driveway because my tinting on my windows for my car that I just moved back from Colorado from was too dark. While we have repeat car after car after car that are going 55, 60, 70 miles an hour.
I would suggest calling the sheriffs on that.
I cannot tell you how many conversations I've had. We've told them, come sit in my mom's driveway. I've never seen anyone stop there. So I had a chance to be able to be away from work today. And so I know it wasn't something that was on the agenda for today, but I wanted to be able to have a conversation with you all.
Thank you.
Should we address that, council?
Yes.
Thank you.
I will. Thank you.
Is there anybody else?
Yes.
Tim,
Tim Seeley?
thanks for coming in.
Yes.
Morning, Tim.
In Healy, 18489 Honeysuckle Road. I'm going to touch on 2 subjects, but they're intertwined. So I feel that I can speak about the whole thing because it's on the same deal along with this resolution you passed today. On number 3 of this resolution for noxious weeds, it reads that all weeds other than noxious weeds on all county trunk and local county roads between the fence line thereof shall be destroyed and controlled by the adjoining property owner to prevent seed production. The state code, which they're going by for this resolution, reads, County Board of Supervisors shall control or eradicate weeds growing on the roads under their jurisdiction. So if you got 66 feet, some fence lines are closer than that to the road. Some properties don't have a fence line at all. My one property line is at the edge of the road. I have another property line that's 60 feet from the roadway. So if I'm gonna be required to do this when it's in conflict with the actual state code, I think number 3 just needs to be worded to reflect the same thing as the state code requires. Then I'm gonna go on with the invasive species part of this noxious weed thing. Honeysuckle and Japanese knotweed, along with the eastern red cedar, are not native to our area. And we have approximately 6,000 acres of forest preserve in our county. And there's a number of properties in my area, and you can see by this photograph, all the green on the bottom is honeysuckle in this forest reserve. This landowner is not taking care of this, and it's invasive onto other properties in the area. The county code says removable trees, in which we've had 2 90-mile-an-hour winds in the last 2 years, and this piece of property has a number of ash trees, and I don't know if you're familiar with the emerald ash borer, but a lot of these trees are dying. But the code here reads, if any forest reserve may be one tree, no more than 1/5 of the trees may be removed in 1 year. If they die naturally, that's fine, but when they are removed or die, the owners or the owners shall of the reservation within 1 year plant and care for more trees. And I know of a couple properties, these owners that are getting tax-free on their properties for this forest reserve are not taking care of these properties. If just 1%, that 6,000 acres is in non-compliance, you could have as much as $1.5 million of taxable real estate back on the tax rolls. If it's 10%, you're looking at 15 million. So when we have a tight budget, this is an option to look at. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm for forest preserve, but if they're not maintaining it, something needs to be done. Also with the honeysuckle, there's government programs out there that pay these landowners to help control this. So it's not going to be a major cost for them because these programs are out there to help this. I know of 2 properties in my area that they both use that program to control this. Then, and it says the Board of Supervisors shall designate the County Conservation Board. And the County Conservation Board, the area may be inspected each year by them or the assessor to determine if the area is maintained. And I have never seen anybody out there, not that they haven't done that, but I don't think these properties are being inspected to control these invasive species.
Hey, Tim.
Yes.
Appreciate it. I don't think fire even does the honeysuckle, does it?
Fire?
You know, that like conservation burns
No,
things
they,
and
I don't-
and honeysuckle still comes back.
yes, there's a specific thing you have to follow in order to get rid of honeysuckle because it reproduces by seed. Wild animals can carry that seed to neighboring properties. It also reproduces by roots. And if you don't control both of those, you won't get rid of it. I mean, you can cut it off and put a little bit of herbicide on there, but if you don't do it at the right time, it'll grow back.
Right.
And then one other thing I wanted to mention is on the eastern red cedars, they thrive on our forest soils here in the west part of the county. But they have a class 5 fire danger. And one of these days, we're gonna end up like California. In my area, I got numbers of photos where this is overtaken. And the fire trucks aren't gonna be able to get on those hills to control that fire. And that's just a concern I had with that. But I wanted to bring up the forest reserve and the rewarding on that.
Thanks for bringing this up.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Okay, next up,
Go on motion to go into closed
we
session.
got a closed session.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Iowa Code 20.17. Yes, sir. Turn 3 for discussion decision via both labor negotiation, collective bargaining.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. Mary Ann, would you do roll call for us?
Chairman Day,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman,
Yeah.
Supervisor Miller. Aye. Supervisor Jones,
Yes.
Supervisor Jordan.
Aye.